Welcome to our channel, Wilderness Wanderlust. Here we are going to take you on our journey into the Kgalagadi on our recent trip, which we did in June 2025. Just for the record, we are not a paid YouTube channel, so we don't get paid for the content that we do, and we are not sponsored by anybody. So please excuse us if you hear some wind noise or a couple of errors in the videography and stuff like that. This is a really amateur channel, and we only create this content for people like you that are like-minded and would like to know more about what you can experience on these trips and what we experience, and then hopefully you'll learn from some of that and probably not make the same mistakes that we did, or it will enable you to make informative decisions for you to book a similar trip going forward. We hope you enjoy this, and if you like our channel, please like and subscribe to it to keep up to date on the next episode that we will create, and join us on our next journey.
So we've left Matopi 1 and we're on our way to Bosola campsite, where we are going to stay for 2 nights. That's the closest we could get to Mabua campsite, so we'll take that. And we've just passed 2 people on the road who stayed at Matopi 2. So maybe we can actually pop into Matopi 2 and just have a quick squiz to see what it looks like. And we actually asked them, what's the road like this way, because we were worried that we still had the big dune to cross. And we were quite anxious and worried about our drive today, not knowing what to expect. But he says we've now got the easy part. We're over the worst, so you can't imagine the relief. So I'm assuming the big dune was the one that took us 5 attempts to get up. And we made it with a trailer, so I'm quite impressed that we made it over all those dunes. Some of them were tough, others tougher than others, but yeah, like I said, the big dune must have been the one that took us 5 attempts to get over. And really our biggest downfall was that our tire pressure was not low enough for that dune attempt. And I think that was probably around about 11:30 that we attempted that dune. So by that time the temperature had heated up, the outside temperature had heated up to about 25 degrees. So the sand was already hot by that stage.
It also increases your tire pressure, so instantly.
Yeah.
So your tire pressure becomes higher.
So let's see what we are in for, and yeah, we're looking forward to the drive and getting to relax for 2 days and not having to pack up.
Trailers.
In the distance there is Matopi Pan. It is a couple of k's, I think about 8 to 10 k's, 10 k's from our campsite, but closer to Matopi 2. And I don't think you can see, but on the background there's some spot on the pan.
Woke up with the sunrise kissing the ridge, coffee on the fire by the old wooden bridge. Got my girl, my gear, and my 4-wheel drive. Bugsy hitched up and feeling alive. Tires kick dust on a red dirt track. No signal, no stress, we ain't looking back. Maps in the glove box, hard on the dash. Chasing horizons in a love that lasts. We're rolling with Bugsy, wild and free. Chasing sunsets, just her and me. From the Drakensberg to the native sand, we carve our stories in this untamed land. Living life with a little bit of rust. That's the spirit of wilderness wanderlust. Wanderlust. Campfire flickers neath the starry dome. Every trail we blaze feels just like home. Laughing about potholes and rivers we crossed. Every muddy mile's worth what it cost. How luck's humming like a song on repeat, with a bedroll moon and boots on our feet. She's got got the wheel, I got the map. We got each other in a world to unwrap. We're rolling with Bugsy, wild, wild and free, chasing sunsets, just her and me. From Kruger's call to the bot's dust, we ride the rhythm of wilderness wanderlust. With a dream and a diesel full of trust, that's the heartbeat of wilderness wanderlust. Wanderlust. It ain't just miles or where we roam, it's campfire laughs and calling it home. Through bush and storm we always find the wild outside matches the wild in our mind. We're rolling with Bugsy, wild and free, leaving nothing but tracks and memories. From tabletop's view to the Serengeti's gust, we're spellbound by that wilderness wanderlust.
And we've arrived at Bosola 1. It took us 3 hours from Matopi to get here, and of course a much easier drive. There in the background is the pan, Bosola pan. We've just pulled in, stretching our legs, and then we're going to see where we're going to set up for the night. Well, 2 nights we're here for. It looks very peaceful. Bosola 2 is a kilometer away, but it feels like forever away. Just take a walk around. The grass is still very high this time of year, even though it's dry. I think it pretty much stays like this year round. And there's the ablutions. Always got to check them for creatures lying around. And that's where we're going to sit under our little A-frame and enjoy what looks like an oryx down on the pan there, and anything else that comes to visit. And there we are.
Okay, some guys were asking, how do we shower? Well, here is the shower set up outside the tent, outside the caravan. There's the shower nozzle, and there's the geyser, and basically this is what it looks like inside. And there you have your shower with your mats that you stand on so you don't get sandal over your feet. There's the shower nozzle. Yeah, and there's your little inside shower thing. Pretty cool, and looks like a bomb.
So we decided to take an afternoon drive up to Matopi Pan, and from where we are in Bosola 1, there's a 18-kilometer drive straight up. You know, it's like a triangle, and upside down triangle, and we're at the bottom. And the road we took up was so badly corrugated. I mean, even this one is badly corrugated, but it seems to be a little bit better. The sand is a bit thicker, and we try to pick up a bit of speed because we just feel like we're rattling to shit along these roads. The corrugation is so bad to drive. It's uncomfortable. It's just horrible. We got to Matopi Pan, no water in the pan, and not an animal in sight. I mean, there's no water at Bosola Pan where we're staying at, but there were quite a few animals out on the pan in front of us, so it was a bit more promising than what we've seen out this way. We haven't seen a lot out this way on our afternoon drive. We were hoping to see something at the pan and then go to Empire Pan, but judging on the time it's going to take us to get back to camp, we don't want to get back too late, so we've decided we'll skip that and do it tomorrow. Well, my husband's still reconsidering after these horrible roads, but yeah, I thought I'd just show you so that you can see what the roads look like. But yeah, they're not great.
We went out on a game drive and we got back. Now we're busy braaiing. The fire is going there, and I took a little walk out, turn the flash on, took a little walk away from the braai, and while we were gone the lions have actually been in the campsite. There's lion spoor, and it's not just one lion, there's a couple. I'm battling to find them a bit in the dark now. There's another one. So it looks like they walked through the campsite from that side, basically through the campsite like this and out the other side over there. So yeah, this is why we went out on a 3-hour game drive and saw nothing. Lions are actually inside our camp. This is what it looks like. Two disheveled people when this lioness came right up to our tent. I don't know, they've been roaring since about 4 o'clock. Yeah. And at about 5:30, she walked right around our tent and into our shower. I'm going to turn the camera around and show you her footprints right outside. I don't know if you can see. Use the zoom. So we can still hear her in the background. And we're fighting over who's going to go and get coffee. But you can literally see the footprints there and there as you walk past the back here, literally 1/2 meter from the tent. So we've got the back open. Oh, there we go. There's a good view of her spoor. But we know there's more than one because we heard 2 calling and we can only hear 1 in the background somewhere. But it's big decisions now on what the plan of action is to get the kettle on, which is in the back of the bakkie, which is about 2 meters from the caravan. So we've got enough open space around us, but we're still a little bit nervy with it being so big and so close about who's going to do what. So we're still deciding. So it's quite an awkward moment in that Chad needs to go to the loo now. So he's just started up the bakkie. He's going to drive down. You can see there the 2 enclosures. The one on the left is the toilet. The one on the right is the shower. And the ridge behind, those trees that you see on that ridge line, is where the 3 lionesses are. We don't know if there's any more. We've only heard them. So I'm going to keep a lookout with the binoculars. And he's driving down as close to the toilet as he can, and I'm staying in the caravan, and
we've got a two-way radio, so I can alert him if I see anything coming down the ridge or towards a bucky, so that he's got a quick escape. But he's trying to get himself as close as possible to the toilet so that he's got some escape if he needs to.
Okay, so we had quite an eventful morning, all in all. First of all, we woke up at 4 o'clock this morning, and with a lion right outside our tent, we could hear them roaring from a distance, and thought, oh well, they're quite far away, it's not a problem. And then it turns out they weren't quite far away, and there was one right next to our tent. To give you an idea, there's our entrance to our tent there, and I think we've pretty much walked through them now, but there was lion spoor literally here this morning. Looks like she came from that direction, she walked through here, then came off here, and she then walked along here, and here you can see clearly how big she was. Quite a big girl. And then we eventually thought, okay, well, they gone now, we'll have some coffee. And we got out, made some coffee, standing over here, and all of a sudden she appeared right there by that bush, and she walked down the bottom like that, up there, and I saw when she got to that point, and I whispered to Claire, like, run, and we both jumped into the trailer, and she carried on walking up behind the bucky, and then another two appeared, and they followed her. They walked around the back of the bucky and then up onto the ridge at the back there, and then we watched them for quite a while up there, all three of them. They were playing in the grass, chasing each other. But yeah, quite an eventful morning. Needless to say, we jumped back into the caravan and stayed there for quite a while until they disappeared, and then we climbed out again, and we actually heard them roaring in the distance, but then they went quiet. But we honestly thought they were gone completely, and then they appeared out of nowhere. So I mean, they could appear at any time now. So yeah, we having walking around our campsite, and I think we'll probably be doing this all day, just looking at the bushes, because you literally don't know where they're going to appear from. You could be standing here and they could come out from behind the caravan. So as a security precaution, we've got the caravan door open, we've got the bucky door open in case we need to jump into the bucky as well. But yeah, it's a chilly morning this morning. It's dropped below zero last night. Literally like frostbite weather. It's freezing, absolutely freezing this morning. But a nice day in Africa, and we made it to just past 8 o'clock now without being eaten, and that's apparently quite a good thing and quite a feat in wild Africa. But this is what we came here for. We've driven 2,000 kilometers and we've seen nothing but gemsbok and ostrich, and we were talking last night that we haven't seen or even heard lions, and we started hearing the roaring at 4 o'clock this morning. So for the last 4 hours we've been watching lions. We haven't captured anything on camera because it's really hard from inside the caravan, but also, with all due respect, you're cucking yourself. So the last thing you want to do is open a door and stick a camera out when there's a lion and you don't know where they are. So you know that there's one, but you don't know how many there are or how close they are to the actual campsite. So it's now 1 o'clock. We decided to have our bra because yesterday we went out at 3 o'clock, and when we got back we came back to Lionspoor. And then this morning when we woke up for coffee, we woke up to the actual lion that made the spoor. And then when we got out of our tent, the lion that we thought had gone away came back again. So yesterday when we got here, we were like so chilled, putting up the tent, having a pee here, there, everywhere, like no problem, like really chilled, relaxed. And now we like are like waiting for something to come out of the bushes. It's like you're just sitting waiting. It's kind of like driving through Pinetown waiting to be hijacked. It's like you don't know what's out there. It could be a meter away from us. This morning she came out of that bush over there, literally 5-10 meters away from me, and I didn't even see her in the bush moving, and then suddenly she disappeared. And there's 3 of them, and we know there's 3 because we saw her meet up with the other 2 and then walk back. So right now we're buying our supper, and we'll probably have cheese and bread tonight inside the caravan as soon as it gets dark, because even during the day here now we're a bit nervous, never mind still when the sun goes down. Last night we were sitting chilling and it was still quite dark out. It was really dark outside, we had the lights on, there was like no major rush to actually do anything. But like I say, today everything is a little bit different. We're just a little bit more nervous and a little bit more vigilant. You can see there's quite a lot of space behind the caravan that we can't see, and that's where she went in this morning. They went up to the top of that ridge, and that's where we lost sight of them. So we know they're there somewhere, but exactly where, we don't know. And you stand like this and you can look in every movement. The wind is blowing, so the grass is moving, so you can't even see if the grass is actually moving. Then a bird takes off, and then Claire decides to walk around the other side of the caravan without warning me first, like as per our arrangement. So she came around the caravan and I nearly left one brown one on the paving because I didn't expect her to come around the corner. But yeah, it's nice out here now. It's hot. This morning it was 0 degrees when we woke up, literally like frostbite. You couldn't feel your hands, you couldn't feel your fingers. So now we're having a bra. Not to say that it's any safer, but it's a little bit more, I don't know, what do you say?
The chances are they're sleeping this time of the day in the heat, although that's what we thought yesterday when we went out for the game drive, only to come back to Lionsburg. I just don't think they stay far away from here. I think they're probably half a kilometre along that ridge there away.
Well, let's hope they don't smell the lamb chops.
But I'm sure they'll be back later.
Yeah. Welcome to Africa. Not for sissies. It's kind of like Australia where everything wants to eat you.
But it's beautiful.
That it is. And when you got a wife who knows how to bra, it's even more beautiful.
Figuring out where I'm going to put this. It doesn't burn. I'll watch it.
So this is an arid region. There's like no water anywhere, and when you do find it, it's really scarce. And we found these melons growing everywhere, like on the side of the road. It's called a Sama melon, and they grow literally everywhere. We asked one of the locals at the Meerkat Center what they actually were, and they told us. And you can eat them, but they got like taste like watermelon without the sweetness. They're actually quite horrible, but I don't think they're ripe. So yesterday on our game drive, I picked 3 off the side of the road. They grow wild here, completely wild. So we picked 3 and we broke them open here, and the birds are eating them. And the story goes that during the war, the Khoisan, or the local people, actually ate these because they were circled by the Germans, and the Germans thought they were going to die of thirst because they were cut off from the water source. Meantime, the guys were eating these melons, and that was the source of their water. So a lot of animals eat this as a water source to prevent obviously dehydration or dying of thirst, which I thought was pretty cool. So like I say, we picked 3 up on the side of the road, because there weren't any nearby camp, and I chopped them open with an axe and put them out here for the birds, and yeah, they're loving it, they're eating it and enjoying it. Yeah, summer melons, that's what they're called. Okay, so at this campsite there's 2 ablutions, really fancy 5-star stuff. In case you're wondering, my wife is standing behind me with a 2-way radio warning me. There she is, behind the tree, with a glass of wine and a 2-way radio, hopefully paying attention to what is around me in case something eats me. Alright, so this ablution over here, excuse the shadow but the sun is behind us, that is your shower. It's a bucket shower with no bucket. Yeah, so that's supposed to be your shower facilities. And then I'm not going to show you the actual toilet itself because that's a bit gross. Oh yes, and you've got a sink out there. Why you would want a sink right on the edge of the thing, I don't know, but anyway. So anyway, this is the toilet. I'm just going to zoom out. And for the idiot that might be watching this, that left a bottle of Domestos here, the least you can do is take it away. But worst case scenario, dude, you can't put Domestos down a septic tank toilet, it doesn't work. But just at a distance, the toilet, without zooming down into the gross stuff, these are, I'll show you, lion teeth marks, and as you can see they have chewed off the top of the toilet and the side of the toilet. So yes, quite a cool little toilet. And then you'll notice that there's a little peep out hole there, so that you know you're going to get eaten when you're going to get eaten. And that is the ablutions. You can see out there about how far away we are parked from it. So obviously this is a no-go at night, and if we go here during the day, my wife has a 2-way radio, I have a 2-way radio, so before I come out she'll scan the area and then I'll ask her whether I can come out, whether it's safe. I'm just going to take that bottle of Domestos and throw it into our bin. Oh yes, in terms of rubbish out here, what you bring in you take out. There's no rubbish bin here, so you need to make provision in your vehicle for your rubbish, and then when you get to the main gate, when you leave the reserve, you can then leave your rubbish behind.
So we packed up early. We heard the lions again this morning, but they didn't come through camp last night. So it was quite a eventful morning packing up, and we're now on the road. We left Bosola at 8 o'clock and we're heading towards the Mabua gate. It's 18 kilometers along this road, which is incredibly badly corrugated. So we're going very slowly. It literally between 15 and 20 kilometers an hour.
12 kilometers.
12, okay. And we're just taking it slow. It's the last bit of our game drive. Maybe we'll see something on the way out. But yeah, that brings to an end our stay in the Kgalagadi. We've had an amazing stay. It was incredible to have the lions in camp. Not last night, but the night before. It was still good to hear them this morning while we were packing up. So it's definitely lion country here. And we're sad to leave, but we certainly know when we come back where we're going to stay and how we can plan better. We made some mistakes. We'll share those mistakes with you, once we finish up this video, just so that you can learn from our mistakes. Maybe you've made the same mistakes, maybe you haven't, maybe you've made others, and you can let us know what you've learned. But all in all, it's been an amazing stay, and we're sad to leave, but all good things have to come to an end. Bo, what do you say, Bo?
Absolutely.
So this would be the road between the gate where you exit the park, and this is basically what they call a cut line, and we are busy driving towards Sabong, and this is just to give you an indication of the difference in the road conditions. So there are sections where it is super corrugated, and then there are sections where there's no corrugations, but it feels like you're driving over a dune again because of the thickness of the sand. So you think you can air up your tires when you leave the park. You're sadly mistaken. We actually aired up when we got to Sabong, only because I was too lazy to pull out the compressor, and that was just as well. There's only a small piece of tar road, which is near, I think it's right near Sabong, if I'm not mistaken. And then after McCarthy's Rest border post, you get onto dirt road again, but it's not bad dirt road. It's like a like a white kind of dirt road, and there's very little corrugation on that. But as you can see over here, you've got varying degrees, and we found that although it's not advised, we drove on the wrong side of the road because the left-hand side of the road had more corrugations because it's quite a long continuous uphill, and had more corrugations than the right-hand side, which would have been a downhill. So where possible, we drove on the right-hand side of the road, as you can see here, and crossing that little median is quite a mission because the sand is incredibly thick in there. It hasn't been compacted by the cars driving, and where possible, where it was flat like this, we basically drove on the right hand side of the road, and until we got to a crest, and then we got to near a crest, we would then move back over to the left hand side of the road. So yeah, it was slow going, an adventure all by itself obviously, but it is a road that you cannot travel unless you have a four-wheel drive, due to the thickness of the sand in many of the sections on this road. So yeah, it just what it is. So if you have any questions regarding the condition of the roads, or if you have any questions regarding the actual trip and stuff like that, please feel free to just pop them in the comments below, and we'll answer your questions as they are received.
So the distance from our campsite, Bosola, to the gate was not that far. It was probably about 20 kilometers, but it took us an hour to get, just over an hour to get to the gate. Got through the gate, and from there to Sabong is 110 kilometers, and that took us about 3 hours. So all in all, I would say between the border and Kgalagadi, to get to the Mabua entrance gate is about 4 hours. We've just left Sabong. We filled up there. There's a good engine garage, so we filled up our diesel, and we're now heading towards McCarthy's Rest to the border. We've only got about 8 k's to go, and hopefully it's going to be a pretty smooth crossing. And there's an ostrich. You wanted to take a picture of an ostrich, it's running away. So yeah, be prepared with fuel, be prepared with water, and just make sure that you know the estimated driving time between towns, between the park and wherever you need to get to. Okay, so we've just come through McCarthy's Rest border control, both the Botswana side and South African side, very quiet. We were the only ones coming through from either side. That was quick and painless to go through. All in all, it probably took about 15 minutes, I'd say, tops.
Yeah.
And now this is the road leading, we're on the South African side now, and we're heading towards Kuruman. We're staying at Red Sands Country Lodge tonight. So we've got about a 3-hour drive ahead of us. Hopefully not too much on dirt road. So we're a bit over that now and looking forward to a bit of tar. This is our drive heading out now from McCarthy's Rust.
Okay, and here we're arriving at Red Sands Country Lodge. This is going to be our stopover from coming out of the Kgalagadi National Park. And then from here, our intention was originally to go to Fariesburg, but we changed our minds and pushed all the way through to Durban from here, which was a 13-hour drive. It was a long drive, but it was worth it. We were literally over it. We were tired of having noisy campsites earlier on in our trip, and yeah, we just wanted to get back home basically. But all in all, it was a good trip. Please don't get me wrong. And then, as luck would have it, this night when we were camping here, we actually broke a piece of our tent, one of the poles. So we had no choice, even though we hadn't made the decision. We had already made the decision. We would have had no choice but to go back anyway. So the campsite's very nice. It's busy because it's a stopover campsite. Again, it's one of those that are noisy, but it was great. It had its own private ablutions with solar showers and its own private everything. So it was really nice. There was a restaurant on the premises. So we basically had supper at the restaurant. It was very, very nice, and we enjoyed our trip. Thank you very much for watching our adventure. This has now come to an end. Please like and subscribe to our channel to get updates on any future trips that we might be planning. And that way at least you'll get notified if you also click that little notification bell. Remember that this channel is not paid for. We don't get revenue from it. But the more times people watch it, like it, subscribe to our channel, and comment, obviously the better the ratings are, which means other people will be able to find it a lot easier. Thank you very much and enjoy your camping.